So I want to tell you a story. It's about learning by creating. I'm going to walk you through how this new wave of AI tools totally changed my work, and maybe more importantly, what I discovered about the nature of learning itself.
For the longest time, I felt like I was just swimming against the current, drowning almost. We live in this age of constant digital noise, right? And my work, the stuff I was really passionate about explaining, it was all text-based. And it was just getting buried. It wasn't about a lack of ideas, not at all. It was about a lack of visibility.
So that got me thinking. It led to this really fundamental question for me. In this world of the infinite scroll, how on earth do you make complex ideas stand out? How do you make them not just seen, but actually digestible, memorable? And then I stumbled onto generative AI, specifically tools like Google's NotebookLM. And let me tell you, this wasn't just another writing assistant. No way. This felt like a real visual breakthrough. It was a completely new way to get my ideas out there.
The promise was, well, it was incredible. Think about it. The ability to take all my dense research, piles of notes, articles, and almost instantly turn it into something visual, a shareable infographic, or, hey, even a narrated video, just like the one you're watching now. The whole idea was to help people get the core of something complex and get it fast.
Okay, but as exciting as all that sounds, a little voice in the back of my head started nagging me. It raised a new and honestly a more critical question. Were these super slick AI-generated visuals just a gimmick? Or was it possible they could actually lead to real, deep understanding?
Here was my biggest worry. Superficial learning. You know that feeling when you see a cool graphic and think, oh, okay, I get it now. But do you really? I was worried people would get that quick hit of understanding, but the information would never actually stick. It wouldn't move into long-term memory, and they'd never be able to actually use it.
So to get to the bottom of this, I decided I had to go back to school, sort of. I dove into some established educational theories, and my first stop was Bloom's Taxonomy. It's a classic framework, right? It basically maps out the different levels of how we learn.
Think of Bloom's framework like a ladder. At the bottom, you have the basics, knowledge, just remembering stuff. Then you climb up to comprehension, application, analysis. But the very top rung of that ladder, the highest, most powerful form of learning, is creation. That's the level where understanding really gets locked in. Then I found another piece of the puzzle, Gagné's 9 events of instruction. And looking at these two together, that was the powerful part. See, if Bloom's taxonomy tells us what the different levels of learning are, Gagné gives us the how. It's like a practical roadmap for actually getting someone to climb that ladder. And that's when it just clicked. It all fell into place. When I was using AI to make a visual, I wasn't just summarizing stuff for other people. I was the one doing the heavy lifting. I was engaging with the highest levels of learning. To create something, I had to analyze, evaluate, and build something totally new. The act of creation, that was the real engine for learning.
This realization was huge. It led me to completely rethink my whole workflow. I came up with this new creative cycle, a new process that puts learning by making right at the heart of everything, and it's all powered by curiosity. So here's what it looks like. Step 1, start with a question, something I'm genuinely curious about. Step 2, collect all my materials. Now step 3 is the magic part. I use the AI to pull it all together and visualize a first draft. Then I share it. And finally, I reflect on what I made and get feedback, which, you guessed it, usually sparks a whole new question. It's a perfect loop.
So let's zoom in on that third step. I take all my articles, my notes, and I just feed them into NotebookLM. It churns through everything and spits out a first draft, maybe an infographic outline or a video script, and honestly, it's an amazing place to start.
But, and this is the most important part, something the tool itself is very upfront about, the output isn't perfect. Not by a long shot. It can have errors. It literally tells you, hey, human, you need to check this. You need to verify and correct it. And that's the whole game. That supposed flaw is actually the most important feature. That's where the real deep learning kicks in. I can't just sit back and passively accept what the AI gives me. I have to get in there, analyze it, evaluate it, and creatively rework it. It forces me to climb that learning ladder myself. This whole experience just completely changed how I see these AI tools. They're not just for passive consumption anymore. They are tools for active creation. I mean, look, this whole explainer you're watching right now, it's a product of that exact process. In order to turn my own research into this, I had to understand my own ideas on a much, much deeper level. This isn't just theory. This is the real-world results of learning by creating.
So, when you boil it all down, it seems like we have two ways to look at AI. On one hand, you can see it as a replacement, a tool that just does the work for you, which leads to being a passive consumer. Or you can see it as a partner, a tool that helps you think, that pushes you to be an active creator. And I really believe the people who get the most out of this technology will be the ones who choose to be creators.
So I guess I'll just leave you with this question. The real magic isn't about what these incredible new tools can create for you. The real question is, what will you learn by creating with them? So what are you going to go learn by creating?